I swear this is going to be a semi-professional review, but before that, I need to get out all the gamer rage that ending brought into me. This will look childish, because it is, but bear with me. You fucking assholes. That was the worst goddamn ending in so many different ways. First of all, the sequel bait, which, as far as I've heard regarding our expansions, is never answered. The stupid difficulty spike. Listen, I breezed through the entire game. I even killed Butchel the Clown. Easy peasy. Then I get to the final 2 missions. In Sunry, every zombie drops me in 2 hits. And it's your ending. What do you do for the grand ending? The same garbage you had me doing the first 2 hours. Equalizing pressure and killing zombies, instead of jumping at every opportunity to kill them and using your fresh system to its full potential. You have me running because I'm bored of them. Are you passionate developers? Or are you bored people who were told to make a game? Are you experienced developers? Or are you rookie dreamers? Shit, give me 2 months and I'd come up with a more engaging and fun finale than that crap. You know, if I had the proper work etiquette, I powered through it. I powered through this game because I saw the fucking potential. Your gore system is genuine innovation for the industry that doesn't amount to cool new graphics and ray-traced eyebrows. Because the game looks gorgeous. And because, despite the undoubtedly terrible state the franchise was in when it was handed to you, you turned it around and delivered a competent and unique product. You made this franchise your own, and that is remarkable. But, unfortunately, what passes for competent in this genre is by all means painfully mediocre at best. And that is your game. Alright, let's do this. This fuckwit who thinks he's important has let all his gamer rage out. Let's talk about the game. Dead Island 2 has had a troubled development. 9 years of it. In that span of time we've gotten technically 3 dying rights. But after being tossed to its 3rd development studio, Dambuster Studios, it finally came out. Let's start with the positives. The combat. It's pretty damn good. You've got lots of actual skill to change your playstyle. And although I'm not super into the deck system, I can see how it adds some amount of replay value, and other players may like it. But of course, the standout is the incredible gore system. Seriously, the violence is insane. Like, if you look at a zombie's lower half, you can leave it exposed, you can break it, you can leave it dangling, or you can just rip it straight off. You can even break zombie arms and just run, ugh. And I know how it makes me sound. Why do you think I'm in a EU watch list? It's a genuine sight to behold, and honestly, a good selling point for the game. Good job, Dambuster. You woke the psychopath in me. The art style and look of LA is another positive. The devs managed to create this weird and at times funny semi-satire of LA with their Hell A. And I don't have much to say besides oftentimes you'll find yourself saying, "Oh, that's neat," often. The music itself is pretty good. Some of the boss fights would not be any fun if they didn't have the music they chose, which is pretty disappointing when most boss fights aren't fun or are Souls-like level of difficulty, which, if you've been around, you know I don't play Souls games for the fucking challenge, nor is this game interesting enough to excuse that bullshit spike. The story isn't all that good. Halfway through the game I was genuinely worried that they were going to leave behind the first survivor group you meet, like the first game did, but thankfully that didn't happen. I don't know, Sampi is mostly fun and charismatic, but the story ain't about him. It's about the Sawyers, who speak like they're in a Marvel movie. They seriously do not stop talking. At times the dialogue even gets cut out, which would be fine if the writing was strong. Hell, Guardians of the Galaxy had the same problem. But while that game had great writing, this one does not. And their constant talking actually makes some serious moments kind of goofy, as Jacob, my Slayer, after surviving death-defying events, thanks his mom. Or, after running from the collapsing pier, another happy landing. The story asks a million questions, and maybe answers two of them. What is the biomass growing in the sewers? Who is the lady and her crew? They hint at some things, but it's never explained. I have a personal guideline in regards to zombie stories. If the writing is good, then it should go for a human-centric story. If it isn't, then it should fall back on a zombie-focused story, as those are almost always interesting by default. A good example is the first Dying Light. The main story is garbage. Rise is more annoying than good, Kyle has no personality, and there are plot holes aplenty. Its DLC, The Following, was 10 times more interesting, as it focused on a cult that had a cure for the zombie virus, which, as it turns out, merely delayed the inevitable, and was actually turning you into a sentient super zombie. And the mother was actually a interesting character, because she was, a sentient super zombie. Dead Island 2 focused on the latter, and while the story isn't the focus of the game, it still is there. It needs to be judged. It's not good, and as mentioned earlier, the Slayer's own dialogue makes it worse. It triggers constantly, and I think partially from the fact that there are 6 different protagonists, there's a weird issue where some characters pause for way too long before responding to what you say, or sometimes they don't respond exactly to what you say. I get it though, for this issue to be resolved, you'd likely need to have 6 different cutscenes for just one event, for what at times would just be minute changes. I'm willing to bet that what they did was have the Slayer in question be a separate quote-unquote object. So say everyone's line for a single cutscene or in one audio file, while the Slayers have their own separate audio file. That is the most cost-effective and probably only way to go about this. But it's still kinda weird. While the story itself, the dialogue isn't very good. The only interesting narrative thread is the infection, which by the end I was also not interested in, mainly due to the boredom I had with the gameplay. I was just tuned out by the end, and the zombies killing me in 2 hits did not help. At one point you have to travel through the sewers to get to, I think it's Venice Beach, and I just hate sewer levels on principle. They're usually shit. They're not fun and overused in the first game. Boring but a bit brief in Dying Light, and boring here. Patton had all of 3 scenes, Emma Jaunt was okay, the Doctor was eh. He wasn't in the game nor developed enough to suddenly have me believe he was the real bad guy. Dead Island 2 had potential. It seriously could have gone in either the direction of Broken Terrible Mess or Great Game, but it landed square in the middle. It's mediocre. Some fights are cool and fun, but after 10 hours of fighting zombies in Bel Air, fighting zombies in a hotel, fighting zombies in a different hotel, fighting zombies on a beach, fighting zombies on a pier, fighting zombies on the Hollywood Walk, fighting zombies in mansions, I was so tired of it. Say what you will about the Dying Light franchise, but you did different things in each game. You ran from volatiles, you rigged an apartment to blow, you climbed a skyscraper, you did different things. The biggest wasted opportunity for me in Dead Island 2 was in the Death Pit area, where you travel from Venice Beach to, I think was the pier. We're told there's back-to-back zombies in tons of danger. I was getting excited. So we travel there, and what does the game throw at us? 20 zombies and a kill 'em all mission. Dying Light 2 had, I think, two of those, spread between 5 hours, and one of them was optional. Damn, Buster, my love. I'm bitching and moaning because I care. Because if you're going to continue this franchise, you need to do better. And you can do better. It turns out you're rookies in this industry. You've made 2 games and helped with another. So I'm telling you, find more experienced mission designers and proper, confident writers. Because, dear God, this game feels like a bad attempt at comedy. I hope you make another full-fledged Dead Island. Because you have the potential for a zombie great here. Focus in on finishing the fucking story. Make some actual set pieces. And get us something to do besides find the breaker, equalize pressure, or kill zombies. You can do better. And I hope you do. I'll be rooting for you guys. But for fuck's sake, don't have another idiotic difficulty spike. Your Flesh in System inspired Techland's own gore update. Now, I think it's time you take some inspiration from them. Their story may bore me, but what I'm doing in their games never does. You don't need to turn yourself into a copy of Dying Light. Tara, I don't want you to. But if there's anything to take from your competitors, it's the great mission design. Thanks for watching.